So on a Wednesday, the city of Tshwane will be electing a new mayor or not. We know that ANC will be fielding its own candidate. The DA still demands Cilliers Brink to be reinstated as the mayor of the city of Tshwane. You remember last week, Helen Zille sent a letter to Fikile Mbalula and David Makura telling them that we are giving you an ultimatum. If you don't ensure that Cilliers Brink is brought back and reinstated as the mayor of the city of Tshwane, then the DA will not be open to negotiating with you in other hang municipalities. When it comes to Action SA is pushing for the current acting mayor of Tshwane, who was the deputy mayor of Cilliers Brink, Dr. Nasipi Moya, to be the one that is leading the city of Tshwane. So there are a lot of moving pieces, and again, it's going to be interesting to see how other political parties are going to vote. I mean, right now, as we speak, there is a rumor that is circulating on the internet that ANC is having negotiations with Freedom Farm Plus. So basically, ANC wants Freedom Farm Plus to lend them their votes so that they can get the mayoral chains. I mean, you remember even last week, the leader of Action SA, Herman Mashaba, went on television interview and he was actually questioned about whether he's going to support the ANC's candidate or not. And Herman Mashaba said, it's fine. I don't have a problem supporting the candidate of the ANC, depending on who it is. So over the weekend, I had a conversation with one of the Action SA's representatives. So apparently Action SA will be looking at the qualifications of the person that ANC will be fielding. And if that person is less qualified than Dr. Nasipi Moya, then Action SA will not be voting with the African National Congress.
But if you say that the issues stem from what has happened or transpired nationally, you guys as a region could have isolated the issues. We've seen with the African National Congress, they've been able to isolate issues. The EFF, for instance, is not part of the GNU. But in the region of Johannesburg, they're within the fold insofar as their coalition agreement is concerned. Their MMCs are there. So meaning you could have isolated whatever the picture looks like nationally and negotiated.
You mean between us and Action SA?
Yes. Because right. I'm saying we've seen what has happened.
Love to talk about that.
Yes, that you could have isolated the national issues where they've decided to be outside of the GNU and, as they say, be a constructive opposition. Because you guys, there's nobody now to watch the watchmen, as they've stated. So you could have isolated the issues and say, in the metro, we want to stabilize ourselves here, so we're going to negotiate differently and just ignore their position at a national level. So where were the failures there?
And it's quite interesting that Cilliers Brink actually did an interview, and I believe that he took a long time before he went out to do an interview. A lot of things has been said about him. Action SA has leveled a lot of accusations against Cilliers Brink. So it was quite interesting to see Cilliers Brink on an interview defending his name.
So the key question for me is, and commentators often say this, but why can't you solve the dispute between you?
Yes.
The fact is there is no dispute. There was no dispute. In the past 18 months, we had cleared 3 important disputes. The one related to the power stations of the city, the second related to the insourcing of workers, the third related to a set of delegations to the city manager. Me and the Deputy Mayor, Nasipi Moya, who still serves with my delegations in the mayoral committee, sat and we cleared all of those issues. Now, if you reach a point where a coalition partner says, we're done with the coalition with your bad performance, you'd expect them to be able to show, at this point, we raised the following dispute. It wasn't satisfactorily cleared. We weren't happy with the answers, and this is why we leave. The fact is there was no dispute.
But there was an allegation, as we've heard, of that the Democratic Alliance was possibly speaking with the African National Congress.
Where's the proof of that?
Yeah, where's the proof of that? Where's the proof of that? I mean, like, the people on the news are acting like they don't know how easy it is to actually level allegations against the DA. I remember before the elections, I used to make an example about DA, ANC, and EFF. I mean, if DA don't want you to vote for ANC, they are going to give you the reasons why they don't want you to vote for ANC. If DA don't want you to vote for EFF, they are going to give you the reasons why, and proper reasons, valid reasons why they don't want you to vote for the EFF. But guess what? When it comes to EFF and ANC, and apparently even now Action SA, you don't even need proof. You don't even need to explain to the people why you are accusing the DA. You simply have to say that these people are arrogant. These people are only serving in the suburbs. The people in the townships in Tshwane are not being served by Cilliers Brink. Then the whole country is saying the same thing. So the DA is not on a level playing field with other political parties, because it is so easy. It is so easy. It is so easy to level allegations against the DA without proof. Even the people on the news, they will not even ask for proof. This allegation has been going around for such a long time, but no one said, guys, but where is the proof that the DA is working with the ANC to get rid of Action SA? Where is the proof? Where is the proof? But as soon as Action SA says that these people are arrogant, no one even says anything about that. So it has been so easy to actually level allegations against the DA, and even the people on the news, they will sit there and pretend like they don't know how easy it is to actually level allegations against the DA. They don't even need proof when people level allegations against the DA. But if the DA says anything about other people, they will say no. Where is the proof? Where is the proof?
The Democratic Alliance was possibly speaking with the African National Congress.
Where's the proof of that? Mr.
Is this
Mashaba,
the case, or there was no such thing?
So let's talk about this. Mr. Mashaba keeps on saying that. He keeps on saying, we're bringing this functional, stable coalition to a fall because we fear that the DA started talking to the ANC with a view of removing us. And every time he's challenged to give proof of that, he says, I don't have to give proof. Why? Because he's lying. He's coming up with ex post facto rationalizations and explanations for his own dishonest conduct. Now, what I do have proof of is the attempts that I...
And guys, just imagine how refreshing it would be if Cilliers Brink would sit there and Herman Mashaba would sit on the other side. Why don't they invite these people, man? I mean, like, you can even invite the other person via Zoom so that they can defend themselves. But the news in South Africa, man, like, they are not even... It's almost as if they are not even interested to get into the truth. It's almost as if they are not interested to get into the truth. I mean, right now, if I was a producer of SABC, knowing that Cilliers Brink is coming, I am phoning Herman Mashaba and saying, Herman Mashaba, Cilliers Brink will be coming and Cilliers Brink will be talking about the issues in the city of Tshwane. Don't you want to come so that you can defend Action SA? But no, the news in South Africa, they don't care. They just want to take these people's side of the story and go to that person and take that person's side of the story. They don't ever make people sit side by side and actually hash things out.
It's honest. I don't have to give proof. Why? Because he's lying. He's coming up with ex post facto rationalizations and explanations for his own dishonest conduct. Now, what I do have proof of is the attempts that I made at every turn to try and keep Action SA in the coalition. Once Mr. Mashaba started attacking us during the course of August in public, saying that he wants a different coalition, my first port of call was the Deputy Mayor, Action SA's leader in government. She made it clear to me that the instruction came from national government, that there wasn't a local dispute for us to resolve. I then reached out to Michael Beaumont, the national chairperson of Action SA. He suggested that we meet, and I followed up, and I tried, and I did everything to have that meeting take place, to understand what we can do to accommodate Action SA, whatever their grievance is. He stonewalled me. So we tried until the very end. Now, why would a mayor and coalition partners who want to eject Action SA from government go to those lengths, where we've even written to them from the Coalition Management Committee letters to say, please stop attacking government, come to the negotiating table, use the mechanisms that we have in terms of our coalition agreement to resolve the issues that you might have.
Because as it stands now, you have 108 seats, if we're speaking of the coalition government. 108, they, I believe, have 19 FF plus 17, and so it goes. One would say, I actually listened to one of your interviews that you conducted with another colleague, where you stated that for a coalition government to work, you need, one, a majority, which you guys had, and secondly, ideological coherence.
Yes.
And in this instance, one would say on the face of it, You had that. One would say that there were no significant differences that you would need to reconcile with the Action SA. I mean, they are a breakaway from the DA in any case. So it seemed as though there were no differences. But here you are today. Someone is still, many are baffled as to how you arrive here. But commentators say, it's not us, but commentators say there's a lack of humility when it comes to the Democratic Alliance. Because for the longest time, you...
Man, this is the reason why the DA needs a strong leader, man. This is the reason why the DA needs a strong leader. This is the reason why. This is the reason why the DA needs a strong leader. Someone who's going to push back when these people say these kind of things. You need someone who's going to be able to say, no. We are not going to let you say that about the DA. Because this again is one of the allegations that was leveled against the Cilliers Brink by Herman Mashaba, that no, those people are just arrogant. Those people are just arrogant. Despite the fact that Action SA themselves, they had the deputy mayor under this guy. But they still went out to say how these people are inhumane and how arrogant these people are. And do you see how fast the news is picking it up? Do you see how fast the news is picking it up? It's insane.
You've had Michael Beaumont conducting interviews where we'd state that you come across as the big brother in a coalition where it's the Democratic Alliance's way and no other.
And it's very interesting that these accusations are made by national leaders of Action SA. They're not made by the deputy mayor, by local leaders. I can imagine there will now be pressure on people like Nasipi Moya to come up with these issues. But the point is, before Mr. Mashaba woke up and started attacking us, we didn't have fundamental issues. You didn't have the kind of personality differences that you saw, for instance, between Trollip and Bobane in Nelson Mandela Bay, where there was this power struggle between mayor and deputy mayor. When I came to be the coalition mayor, not the DA mayor, the coalition mayor in Tshwane, I realized that these things, the accusations of arrogance and so forth, are very often used against the DA.
But coming from a national level.
Sometimes as a negotiating tactic to say, oh no, but you're so arrogant, show us your good faith. And we implemented that coalition agreement to the T. We established the position of deputy mayor under great criticism, including from the ANC, to say, why are you doing this? We don't have money for this. But
even employees within the metro felt as though...
We established that because that was part of the agreement. And if you're in a coalition government, the best way to show good faith humility is actually to stick to what you agreed to. I didn't make that agreement, but the moment that I became mayor, it was incumbent on me to implement it, to enable significant power sharing. And you'd also imagine that if the problem was an arrogant mayor or somebody who doesn't want to share power, you'd have the other coalition partners, the FF+, the IFP, the ACDP, those parties lining up behind Action SA to all tell the same story.
But that's a fair point.
You could say they're the second biggest. Maybe they felt entitled to more positions than the others.
Well, there's a 2-seat difference between the Freedom Front Plus and Action SA. And they are just as baffled as we are about the conduct of Mr. Mashaba and Action SA. So it's very unfortunate. We had a good chance as a coalition, regardless of what happened in government of national unity or anywhere else. We didn't have to consider the options of a government of national unity because together we had a majority. And our coalition partners, and I must emphasize this point, when I say we have done well, when I say we've made progress, it's not me taking credit. It is the credit for a team. It's a team effort. It's a joint effort. It is our joint program of action. And unfortunately, Action SA has taken one big sledgehammer and just destroyed that.
So in 2 days' time, there's a possibility that you will be removed. You were voted into council at the age of 23, starting off in 2011, and you moved to become MMC, I believe, in 2016. It seemed as though you had a good record. You were just on the rise. And now it could all end in 2 days. How do you feel?
Well, it's not about me. This is a young coalition country. We've just, in terms of our line of history, come out of dominant party democracy. And the metros are an important place where we model coalitions. Because I promise you, the likelihood of a party gaining a majority in 2026 at the next local government election is very slim. So we have to take our experiences of governing the metros in Gauteng, of Tshwane, and see how do we do coalitions better. It's not about me. What I am worried about is the independent professionals which this government recruited. People who took us at our word when we said we don't want politicians, we don't want deployed cadres, we want folks who can do the best possible job. And what I'm afraid of is that if you place the EFF at the center of government, as Mr. Mashaba proposes to do, then those people might be at risk. The culture of professionalism that we have built in the past 18 months might be at risk. So I don't know what's going to happen if you look at the numbers, if the ANC goes on with a motion of no confidence, if Action SA votes for that motion of no confidence, we will be out of government. I will go to opposition and do the best I can possibly do there. I've got no control over that, but I think it is worth an effort to think about what is the solution to Tshwane's problems. Is it going to be to vote a motion of no confidence, more political instability, another churning of politicians? Or is it going to be to say, what progress have we already made and how can we build on that progress going forward?
And we know that Cilliers Brink was removed by ANC, Action SA and the EFF. So guys, what do you think, man? What do you think about the city of Tshwane? How do you think the vote is going to go on Wednesday? Because right now there are literally 2 days before the votes start in the city of Tshwane. So some people are actually hoping that Cilliers Brink returns as the mayor of the city of Tshwane, but we don't know who the ANC will be fielding as the mayor of the city of Tshwane, and we know who Action SA will be putting forward. Guys, please tell me what you think in the comment section. Don't forget to hit that like button, and the most important part, subscribe. My name is Thomas Mabaso. I will see you next time. Bye bye.